Yo, what up guys? My name is Dave Higgins. Welcome to Sandbox Xplorer. Alright, so this isn't like brand new news, but it's like kinda new news. And if you haven't heard it or kept up with this somehow, then maybe you haven't heard it, so I'm gonna talk about it. I meant to do this video like 2 weeks ago and I just couldn't get around to it for a whole bunch of different reasons, but I am now doing it. So if this is new information to you, great, and if it's not, I don't know. So there's been rumors going around that Sharp is making IGZO, I-G-Z-O. Not sure if you say IGZO or not, but for the purposes of this video, we're gonna. So Sharp is making IGZO screens allegedly for future Nintendo Switch models. IGZO stands for indium gallium zinc oxide, which is science for a screen that uses less energy to power it. So in theory, you can distribute more power to different pieces of hardware, or more likely just the battery doesn't have as much drain, so you have a longer battery. I could be not entirely correct on that. So science people, if I am a little bit off or completely off with that, then I apologize. But to my understanding, that is pretty much how it would work. So theoretically, if there was going to be a new screen, the IGZO screen, being used in a Switch original model, then, you know, it'd be similar to the Tegra chip where there's less power being used from it, drawn from using it, and therefore the battery lasts longer. So, you know, if you added that in addition to the Tegra chip, then they could have another revised model of the Switch that has an even longer battery. Maybe the Switch Lite uses that to get the length of battery that it gets, but it seems unlikely if that's what's being put into the original Switch model and it's getting a longer battery life than it. But possibly more likely, if there's any truth to this, then it could be, and I will get into it, possibly sort of a hint that the Switch Pro might be coming out at some point. So to continue on that thought, some smart people out there discovered that on the original Switch model, the motherboard has Odin printed on it. If for some reason you're not familiar with who Odin is, he's pretty much the most powerful god in Norse mythology. Apparently the revised model says Modin, so theoretically that would be modified Odin. Maybe has some validity to it, but if you go with this next bit of information, it kind of ties into it being kind of valid. The Switch Lite apparently has Vali. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's V-A-L-I. So if that's right, great. If it's not, sorry, but let's go with Vali for the purposes of this video. That's printed on the Switch Lite. So Vali is Odin's son. So that kind of makes sense if you have the original model and you have the Lite. Kind of like a son, you know, kind of might make some sense. Now, to continue to the main point of this tangent is there's another brother, another son in that family that's a little more well known than, you know, Vali especially, and Odin. If for some reason you're not familiar with who this is, then I don't know where you've been your whole life. If you haven't just heard about this character by existing, then you probably become familiar because Chris Hemsworth plays a character by the same name in that Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor. So if Nintendo really is doing this whole Norse mythology god name thing, then it sort of seems like they're kind of moving towards using Thor for a Pro model. So I'm hoping that that happens. If they don't do it for some reason, that's a huge missed opportunity and kind of seems weird to use those names and not end up doing that. But holding out hope that I'm assuming that sometime next year they're gonna announce it for like next Christmas. I was thinking maybe they'll announce it around now and say in springtime we're gonna launch this whatever, but probably not. I'm expecting there to be one at some point because it would be really unlike Nintendo to not release a handheld especially model of a system, because everything preceding now has done that. Like Game Boy had Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance had Game Boy Advance SP, DS had DSi and the DS Lite, which it's funny because the DS Lite is actually an improved version of the DS and the Switch Lite isn't necessarily like a devolved version, but it kind of is. It's like a less feature-filled, smaller, more, it's like the 2DS of the Switch, basically, more or less. And going with that, the 3DS has the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, the 2DS, which is again like the budget model, but it's still a different version of it, which more like the Lite, but they have the new 3DS and the new 3DS XL, which is the more improved version of it. So again, everything before that has had a handheld version has had an improved model. So it seems like, I mean, sure, the Switch is not only handheld, it's also docked console on the TV, but for some people it's handheld only. I've been really trying to hold out hope that they're gonna announce this Switch Pro, and I'm not gonna spend the money on the revised model, but every day that they don't announce that, I'm closer and closer to breaking and buying that revised model because I really, really want that battery power. Like, now that I know it's out there, I was like kind of living with the fact that it dies after X amount of time and, you know, I gotta charge it and whatever. I got like 2 external batteries and the plug. I'm all set with the battery, but it'd be a lot nicer to be able to play for almost 2 times as long, if not 2 times as long as I normally do without having to put the battery pack charger, you know, on. I'm really, really, really close to getting that revised model, and if it doesn't get announced like a Pro, it's sometime in the next, I don't know, month or 2, which it probably won't, but it might, then you're probably gonna end up seeing a video of me going, I got the revised model. So we'll see how this plays out. Oh yeah, that's right. Before I end this video, I wanna show you something else. When I finally do get this Terrificon and Boston Fan Expo footage edited like I said I'm going to, and it's been way too long that I haven't. After this video, I'm going to work on it. I need to. I just want to get these done because I've been wanting to do them for like 2 weeks or whatever I said earlier. But you will see me buying this on the Terrificon video, but I want to show it to you because I unboxed it. On the first video that I had audio issues, I actually unboxed it, and it took me kind of a while because it was packaged up really, really weirdly. But now that it's out, I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, it's your boy. This thing is super cool. I got this at Terrificon. The tail was separated, I had to put it in. But look at this thing. It's so posable. There's so many little grooves to it. I don't know what the right word would be to use. That's what came to my mind. But it's super posable. You can move his hands in whatever direction. You know, you can twist them. Like, oh man. Like, what's up with that? He's Jerry Seinfeld Godzilla now. His mouth. Boom. His legs do things. That's the other thing. He even has built-in roar, which is the most badass roar ever. I'm gonna do it close up. Ready? See if I can do this right. Focus. Yeah. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I just want to give a shout out to a buddy of mine. He's over on Twitch. It's Dysfunctional1 and it's spelled like this right here. You can check him out. Right now he's doing the Diablo 3 Season 18, so you can check him out playing that game. Have I done a review on that one on Switch or any gameplay or anything like that? I don't think I have. I might have to do that at some point because that's a really fun game. I love that game. So if you like that game, you can go, you know, check him playing that out. Oh yeah, also tomorrow I'm going to see Slipknot. Huge Slipknot fan, just saying. I'm really pumped to go see them. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. La later.